Section 67 of the Divine Comedy by Dante Alighieri, translated by Courtney Langdon. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Purgatorio, Canto 33. Terrestrial Paradise. Beatrice's Prophecy. Dante's final purification in the river Eunoe.
O God! The heathen folk are come.
Now three, now four alternately, and shedding tears, the ladies a sweet psalmody began. And Beatrice with sighs of sympathy was listening to their words with such a look, that Mary at the cross changed little more. But when the other maids had given way that she might speak, she rose upon her feet, and coloured with the hue of fire, replied,
A little while, and ye shall not behold me. And then again, beloved sisters mine, a little while, and me ye shall behold.
All seven she thereupon before her placed, and merely by a nod behind her moved me and the lady, and the sage who stayed. She thus was going on, nor do I think her 10th step had been set upon the ground, when with her eyes she forcibly met mine. Then with a tranquil face she said to me,
More quickly come, that, if I speak to thee, for listening to me thou mayst be well placed.
As soon as I was with her as I ought, she said to me,
Why, brother, dost not venture to question me, now that thou comest with me?
As unto those who show excessive reverence when speaking in the presence of their elders, and therefore draw no clear voice to their teeth, to me it happened that with imperfect tones, Madonna, I began, my welfare's needs you know, and that which may be good for it. And she to me,
From fear and bashfulness I wish thee now to extricate thyself, that thou mayst speak no more like one who dreams. Know that the vessel which the serpent broke was and is not. But let whose fault it is, believe God's vengeance fears not human sops. Nor shall the eagle airless for all time remain, who left his feathers on the car, whence monstrous it became and then a prey. For I see well, and therefore tell it, stars now near, and from all checks and obstacles secure, which for us shall a time obtain within which a 510 sent forth by God shall kill the female thief, and that great giant who with her is guilty. And my prediction, which is dark perhaps, as Themis and the Sphinx, persuades thee less, because, as theirs did, it beclouds thy mind. But facts will soon become the Naiades, which shall this difficult enigma solve, without the loss of either sheep or grain. Give heed, and even as uttered by myself, see that thou teach these words of mine to those that live the life which is a race toward death, and bear in mind, when thou art writing them, not to conceal in what state thou hast seen the tree, which twice now hath been here despoiled. Whoever robs or teareth that apart, with blasphemy of deed offendeth God, who for his own use only made it holy. For biting it, in pain and in desire, the first soul longed for him 5,000 years and more, who punished in himself the bite. Thy mind is sleeping, if it deemeth not that for a special cause it soars so high, and at its summit so inverted is. And if the vain thoughts which surround thy mind had not been Elsa water, and their pleasure as to the mulberry a Pyramus, thou, by so many circumstances only, wouldst in the interdict upon the tree see morally God's justice. But since made of stone I see thee in thine understanding, and being petrified, so dark in mind that thou art blinded by my speech's light, I also, if not written, wish that painted, at least, thou bear it in thee, for the reason the pilgrim's staff is carried wreathed in palm.
and I, as sealing wax, which changes not the shape imprinted on it by the seal, so likewise is my brain now stamped by you. But why so far above my mental sight are your desired words now flying up? It loses them the more it strives.
That thou,
She said,
mayst thus appraise the school which thou hast followed, and perceive how able its teaching is to carry out my word, and also see that your ways are removed as far from the divine as ere the heaven which speeds most high is distant from the earth.
Whence her I answered, I do not recall that I have e'er estranged myself from you, nor am I conscious of remorse therefore.
And if thou canst not call it to thy mind,
She answered with a smile,
remember now that this same day thou hast of Lethe drunk, and if from smoke a fire may be inferred, this thy forgetfulness but clearly proves a fault in thy desire intent elsewhere. Truly my words shall naked be henceforth, as much at least as it shall needful seem to make them clear to thine untutored sight.
Both more refulgent and with slower steps, the sun was holding now the noonday circle, which with each point of view moves here and there, when even as he who as a leader goes ahead of people stops, if something new he find upon his path, the ladies seven stopped at a death-pale shadow's edge, like that which 'neath green leaves and darkling boughs the Alps cast o'er their icy mountain streams. In front of them I seemed to see Euphrates and Tigris from one fountain issue forth, and from each other slowly part as friends. O light and glory of the human race, what stream is this, which from one source unfolds, and then from its own self itself withdraws? In answer to this question I was told,
Pray that Matilda tell thee.
Whereupon, like one who frees himself from blame, replied the lovely lady,
This with other things hath he been told by me, and I am sure that Lethe's water hath not hid it from him.
And Beatrice,
Perhaps a greater care, which oft deprives one's memory of its power, hath made the vision of his mind's eye dark. But Unue behold, which yonder now is flowing forth, conduct him to its bank, and, as thou art wont, revive his lifeless power.
even as a noble soul makes no excuse, but to another's will its own conforms, as soon as e'er by outward signs disclosed. Even so, when she had taken hold of me, the lovely lady moved, and then to Statius said with a lady's manner,
Come with him.
If, reader, I had now more space for writing, I'd sing, at least in part, of that sweet drink, which never would have satisfied my thirst. But inasmuch as filled are all the pages planned warp-like for this second canticle, no further doth art's bridle let me go. From that most holy water I returned made young again, as new trees are in spring, when with new foliage they renew themselves, pure, and disposed to rise up to the stars.
End of Purgatorio, Canto 33.